somewhere in the heart of the Amazon, where the river swallows the light and the trees grow so tall they touch the clouds. Something is watching you. You won't hear it coming. You won't see it until it's too late. This is not a ghost. This is not a myth. This is the jaguar. Meet Panthera, the jaguar, the largest cat in the Americas, the third largest in the entire world, behind only the lion and the tiger. But unlike its African cousins, the jaguar rules alone. No pride, no coalition, no allies, just one animal and everything around it. Most cats despise water. The jaguar seeks it out. Rivers are not barriers to this animal. They are highways, pathways to prey, pathways to territory. A single male can control a range of up to 80 square kilometers. That's roughly the size of a small city. And he patrols every inch of it. That coat, golden, spotted, hypnotic, is not decoration. Those dark rosettes, each with a central spot, act as camouflage in dappled forest light. At rest, this cat becomes the jungle itself. Scientists once called the jaguar the perfect predator. After spending time studying one, you begin to understand why. The jaguar is not built for speed, it is built for power. Where the cheetah is a sprinter and the leopard is an acrobat, the jaguar is a battering ram to 60 to 100 kilograms of compact, explosive muscle. Its legs are shorter than a leopard's, its chest broader than a lion's, built low to the ground, built for ambush. But the jaguar's true superpower is something no other big cat possesses: its bite. Pound for pound, the jaguar has the strongest bite of any big cat on earth. It can exert over 1,500 pounds of force per square inch with its jaws. It doesn't kill like a lion, gripping the throat to suffocate. It doesn't kill like a leopard, suffocating from behind. The jaguar bites straight through the skull, through bone, through shell. A caiman's armored skull, a tortoise's shell, a capybara's head. One bite, done. And when the kill is made, this animal can carry prey heavier than itself, dragging it away from competitors, into the trees, or across water. As if the weight simply doesn't exist, the jaguar does not share, it does not negotiate, it simply takes. Of all the jaguar's relationships with other animals, none is more remarkable than the one with the caiman, the black caiman, reptile that can exceed 5 meters in length and weigh over 400 kilograms. Is, by every conventional measure, a monster. Its bite force rivals the saltwater crocodile. Its armored scales deflect almost any attack. Almost. The jaguar studies the caiman the way a chess player studies a board, calculating, patient, looking for the precise moment, the brief second, when the skull is exposed at exactly the right angle. That bite is so precise, so perfectly placed between the caiman's eyes, that scientists believe the jaguar doesn't just overpower its prey, it understands the anatomy. This is not random aggression. This is intelligence in action. The caiman, one of the most dangerous animals on the continent, barely had time to register the threat before it was over. Not every hunt requires this level of precision. The capybara, docile, social, and everywhere, is the jaguar's most common meal. They are essentially nature's gift wrap, large, slow, abundant, and nutritionally perfect. But even here, the jaguar doesn't rush. It watches the herd, reads the group dynamics, identifies the straggler, the distracted, the young, and then it moves. The remaining capybaras regroup at the water's edge, looking back over their shoulders. They've been through this before. They'll be through it again. For the capybara, the jaguar is not a natural disaster, it's a fact of life. But there is one animal in the Amazon that looks at the jaguar and feels no fear. The green anaconda, the heaviest snake on Earth. Some individuals exceed 8 meters in length. A single constriction can exert enough force to stop a heart. The relationship between the jaguar and the anaconda is complicated. In the water, the anaconda has every advantage. It is the jaguar that is vulnerable here, slower, less maneuverable, unable to use the ground for leverage. But on land, the balance shifts. A jaguar that catches an anaconda, exposed on the ground, can deliver its skull bite before the snake has time to fall. It's a relationship defined not by dominance, but by environment. Each is king in a different kingdom. Sometimes, the jaguar simply decides, not today, not worth the risk. Even the greatest predators know when to walk away. White-lipped peccaries are not easy prey. They travel in herds of hundreds, equipped with razor tusks, a collective aggression, and a willingness to charge a threat rather than flee it. Many predators avoid them entirely. The jaguar does not. The jaguar uses the forest canopy and dense cover to isolate a single animal from the herd. One quick strike, and it's gone before the others can react. But miscalculate, linger too long, and the herd turns. Even a jaguar, surrounded by hundreds of tusked peccaries, must retreat. It is one of the few situations in which this apex predator can be made to run. The jaguar is not the only large cat in the Americas. The puma, lighter, faster, and extraordinarily adaptable, shares the jaguar's range across much of South and Central America, but where both exist, a clear hierarchy emerges. The puma yields to the jaguar always. Research has revealed something extraordinary. In areas where jaguars are present, pumas shift their activity patterns entirely. They move during the day, avoiding the jaguar's preferred nocturnal hunting hours. They eat different prey, use different micro-habitats, operate at different elevations. This is not cowardice. This is survival intelligence. The puma has learned, evolutionarily, that the jaguar always wins. Scientists call this integral predation pressure. The puma essentially redesigned its entire lifestyle around avoiding the jaguar. Above the jaguar's domain, another apex predator rules, the harpy eagle, one of the largest and most powerful raptors on Earth. The harpy eagle and the jaguar do not compete directly, but they do compete for the same resource, the monkey. Spider monkeys, howler monkeys, capuchins. They form a significant part of the harpy's diet, and an occasional target for the jaguar's vertical hunts in the understory. The two predators are separated by limits. One rules the canopy, one rules the ground, an uneasy, unspoken partition of the jungle. The jaguar is more than a predator, it is an architect. Apex predators control not just what they eat, but what the animals below them eat, where they move, and how the entire ecosystem organizes itself. Scientists call this the trophic cascade. Remove the jaguar, and the capybara population explodes, overgrazing riverbanks, destabilizing vegetation, changing river flow itself. Remove the jaguar, and the Caiman faces no check, competing with river birds, fish, and other species without limitation. The jaguar does not simply sit at the top of the food chain. It holds the food chain together. Indigenous Amazonian cultures understood this long before Western science caught up. For the Maya, the jaguar was Balam, a deity of the underworld, of night, of power, not feared, but revered, a god that kept the balance between worlds. The Aztecs called their elite warriors jaguar warriors, men who wore the jaguar's skin believing they absorbed its power. Every culture that ever shared land with the jaguar looked at it and saw the same thing, something that could not be dominated, only respected. Not every relationship the jaguar has is dramatic. Some are simply efficient. The giant South American river turtle, Podoclonus expansa, looks impenetrable. Its shell is dense, its body mass substantial. The jaguar's bite force renders the shell irrelevant. It bites through the shell the way you bite, through a cracker with minimal effort, maximum result. These turtles, which spend most of their lives protected from virtually every other predator, have no defense against the only animal on Earth with jaws strong enough to pierce their armor. For most of the year, the jaguar lives in absolute solitude. No pride, no family unit, no companions, just the cat, the territory, and the hunt. But once a year, sometimes less, that isolation breaks. When a female enters estrus, she marks her territory with a ferocity that rivals the male, scraping trees, leaving scents, vocalizing with a deep, coughing roar unlike any sound the jungle normally produces. The courtship of jaguars is one of nature's most intense negotiations. For several days, the male and female stay close, sleeping near each other, hunting separately, occasionally touching. Then, after mating, which can happen dozens of times over several days, the male is gone, back to his territory, back to his solitude. He will never know his cubs. The female raises her cubs alone. For the first 6 months, the cubs never leave the den. They learn the world through
the
their
young
mothers.
leopard Obi
Returns,
finally takes
the
down
smell
a
of blood
large
on her
prey
fur,
with his
the
powerful
sound of her
strength.
movements.
As
the
he
lessons
crouches
she
over
brings
his
back from the
hard-earned
forest.
trophy,
By 18
feasting
months,
peacefully,
she
a
begins
hidden
taking them on
crisis
hunts,
creeps in
teaching,
silently.
correcting,
The true
demonstrating.
ruler of this
By 2
territory
years,
is an
the cubs
aging
are
male
nearly her
leopard,
size.
Obi's
By
own
3,
father.
they must leave.
For days,
They scatter
he has
into the
clearly
forest,
sensed Obi's
each
invasion
needing to
and
claim their own
constant probing.
territory, their own
He
river,
watches his son
their own
gradually
piece of the ancient
encroach
cycle.
and sees
Most
the
do not
land he
survive
has
the
guarded
first
for
year
years,
alone.
pushing
Those that
his
do
territorial
become what she
authority
is.
to the brink.
The jaguar has
The
no
old
natural
leopard
predator,
refuses
no
to let his
animal
reign
hunts
be
it.
overthrown
No
so
disease has
easily.
broken it.
He begins
For
plotting
millions
in
of
secret,
years,
determined
it has
to
held
stop this
dominance over
territorial
every
takeover.
creature in its world.
He
And
sets
then
his
came
vengeful
us.
sights
the
on
jaguar
Obi's
once
offspring.
ranged from
Previously,
the American
Obi's mate
Southwest
Flora
to the
gave
tip of
birth
Argentina.
to 3 cubs
Today,
after mating with him.
it survives in
The tiny
fragmented
cubs
pockets.
are still young
Islands
and
of
fragile,
forest
completely
surrounded by
powerless
farms,
to defend
roads
themselves.
and cities.
To
As
feed
its
her
habitat
litter,
shrinks,
Flora has no
the
choice
jaguar
but to hide her
encounters
3
cattle
cubs
ranches,
in a
and
safe,
when a jaguar
secluded
kills
spot
livestock,
before heading
the
out to
rancher's
hunt
response
alone.
is often immediate
This
and
short
lethal.
absence creates
This is
the
not a
perfect
story
opening
of
for
evil
the
men
vengeful
and
old
noble
male
animals.
leopard.
It is a
For
story
this
of two
seasoned
species,
territory king,
both
hunting
trying to
3
survive,
defenseless cubs
placed
is
in direct
effortless.
competition for the same
When Flora
land.
returns
The
from
jaguar
hunting,
is
her
losing,
hiding place is
but
empty.
the story
The
is
cubs
not
are
over.
nowhere
In
to be
Brazil,
found.
Colombia,
Panicked, she paces
Mexico,
restlessly
and
around
across
the area
Central
and
America,
roars for her young,
conservation
yet not a single
organizations are
response comes
working with
back.
local communities,
After an
creating
anxious search,
wildlife corridors
Flora
that
finally
allow
finds her
jaguars
children,
to move
but
between
instead of their
forest
lively,
fragments,
playful
compensating
figures,
ranchers
she only
for lost
discovers their
livestock
cold,
and returning
lifeless
this
bodies.
apex predator
These innocent
to areas
young
it once
lives
ruled.
have perished
in
in the
2018,
cruel power
the
struggle
jaguar
over
was
territory.
declared locally extinct
Yet
in the
this
United
is only
States.
the first step
But in
of the
Arizona's
old leopard's
Sky
revenge.
Islands,
The
there are
brutal
sightings.
territorial game
Young
and
males
power
crossing the
clash
border from
between
Mexico
father and son
scouts
is
for
far
a
from
potential
over.
return. The jaguar does not give up territory it becomes a fight, and it seems neither do the people working to save it. As the sun drops below the canopy, the jaguar begins its shift. This is its hour, the hour when the forest grows. Dark and the air cools and everything below takes a breath and moves up, little more carefully. The Caiman retreats deeper into the water. The Capybara edges closer to the herd. The Puma waits a little longer before leaving its rest. Everything in this ecosystem, everything alive in this impossible, magnificent jungle, adjusts its behavior to account for the presence of one animal. That is power, not the power of the loudest, the fastest, or the largest. The power of the irreplaceable. The jaguar doesn't announce itself. It doesn't perform. It simply exists at the center of a world that would collapse without it. A ghost that holds the jungle together. A predator that is also a protector. The ghost of the jungle. Still here, still watching. If this documentary opened your eyes to the jaguar, share it. The more people understand what this animal is, the better chance it has of surviving. Subscribe for more full wildlife documentaries every week.